Now, Pushkar Singh Dhami takes oath as the 11th Chief Minister of Uttarakhand with 11 other cabinet ministers, including the 3 dissenters who had stormed the BJP's legislative meet just yesterday. Here's more on what happened.
मैं पुष्कर सिंह धामी ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं.
Uttarakhand gets its 3rd Chief Minister in 4 months. Amid hectic parleys, rising dissent and charges of political instability,
उत्तराखंड राज्य के मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में
Pushkar Dhami took oath as the 11th Chief Minister of Uttarakhand. He was sworn in with 11 cabinet ministers from the previous government on Sunday evening at the Raj Bhavan.
बहुत आजीविका छोटे से दुकानदारी से अपनी आजीविका चलाने के कारण जिनकी आजीविका का पूरी निर्भरता केवल और केवल ये पर्यटकों से और आने वाले लोगों से या श्रद्धालुओं से होती थी. हमारा प्रयास होगा कि उसको रास्ते पर लाएं और नौजवानों के जो पीछे हमारे जितने भी हमारे बैकलॉग हैं वो बैकलॉग हम भरेंगे.
The youngest CM of the state has a lot on his plate. Several challenges as high as the Himalayan peaks in the state. Dhami will face state assembly polls in less than a year, loaded with the Herculean task of appeasing the dissenters who are allegedly miffed over his elevation. He will also have to clean party's image after changing 3 CMs in just 4 months amidst opposition's charges of political instability.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने उत्तराखंड के अंदर राजनीतिक अस्थिरता फैलाने का काम किया, तो इसीलिए नए मुख्यमंत्री के बनने पर जो है भाजपा में जो है वो गुटबंदी उभर करके सामने आ रही है.
BJP leadership has quashed claims of dissent in the party.
पुष्कर सिंह धामी एक युवा तेज तर्रार शिक्षित नौजवान है. पार्टी ने उनको बागडोर सौंपी है तो निश्चित रूप से कोई अच्छा परिवर्तन दिखाई देगा.
दूसरे विधायकों के बारे में मैं कुछ नहीं कह सकता हूं, लेकिन जहां तक मेरी जानकारी है शायद ही कोई विधायक इस बात को लेकर के नाराज हो. हमारी एक अनुशासित पार्टी है और सब लोग एक अनुशासन के अंदर काम करते हैं. मुझे नहीं लगता है कि किसी को किसी तरह की कोई दिक्कत पुष्कर सिंह धामी जी से हो.
The dissenters also took oath with the new CM, quashing rumors of division that were taking rounds before his oath-taking ceremony.
There were so many people in the party, those were very angry on this decision of Pushkar Singh Dhami's as new Chief Minister. But they also took the oath with Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami. But will they support Pushkar Singh Dhami till 2022? There is a question mark. With camera person Pravesh Rana, Dilip Singh Rathod in Dehradun for India Today.
The Rafale dogfight continues between Congress MP Rahul Gandhi and the BJP a day after France's National Financial Prosecutor's Office ordered a judicial probe over alleged corruption charges in the Rafale deal. Rahul Gandhi has now mocked the Prime Minister Narendra Modi through his Instagram post. Here's the full story.
The ghost of Rafale deal back to haunt Modi government. After a French court orders judicial probe over the charges of corruption and favoritism in the 59,000 crore rupees deal between France and India. Major showdown has erupted back home between Congress and the BJP. Rahul Gandhi, who spearheaded his party's campaign over alleged corruption in the Rafale deal in the run-up to the 2019 polls, has once again launched a fresh attack on Prime Minister. Rahul has put out an image on his Instagram handle mocking the Prime Minister. He also put out a caption, "Chor ki दाढ़ी," meaning thief's beard.
देश को रुचि है कि 570 करोड़ की चीज 1670 में क्यों खरीदी गई? 126 विमान आने थे, सिर्फ 36 क्यों खरीदे गए? इस तरह के जो बातें करते हैं कि दाढ़ी की फोटो क्यों डाल दी, यह और स्पष्ट बता देता है कि वाकई तिनका है, एक नहीं अनेक तिनके हैं.
BJP is furious and calls Rahul's attack a new low. BJP challenged Rahul to fight 2024 elections on Rafale issue.
Again, the Congress is trying to demand JPC probe and raking up the issue. Is nothing but raking up, flogging a dead horse. It shows that they have no issues to fight with Narendra Modi's government.
Rafale is probably one of the few weapons in Congress' hand to take on the Modi government over corruption issue. The campaign backfired in 2019 after Supreme Court gave a clean chit that helped BJP to return to power for the second time with greater majority.
The investigation launched by French authorities in the Rafale deal has brought storm in India. India's main opposition party, Congress, and several others are now demanding the Joint Parliamentary Committee probe in the deal. While the BJP rubbishing the charges, challenging the Congress to battle the next general elections on this issue, Congress continue to escalate attack on the government. With this report in New Delhi with Sanjay Kumar, I'm Ashutosh Mishra for India Today.
Now, UP police files a charge sheet over an assault on an elderly man in Ghaziabad 1 month ago. In fact, the attack was recorded and video also went viral. 11 people have now been charge sheeted by the Uttar Pradesh police. The case relates to assault of an elderly man at Loni in Uttar Pradesh's Ghaziabad district on the 5th of June while he was on his way to a mosque to offer prayers. The video of this incident was widely circulated on social media. According to sources, around 24 persons have been made witnesses in this case. Sources tell India Today that the charge sheet, however, does not name Umaid Pahalwan, who has been booked under the National Security Act for spreading fake news. A separate charge sheet is set to be filed against him. In fact, UP police have charge sheeted journalists and even Twitter India over spreading false information, which is part of the ongoing probe now. Abdul Samad, 72, was thrashed by 6 people. Assailants also chopped off his beard. Meanwhile, Rajasthan Governor Kalraj Mishra's biography launch has stirred up a hornet's nest. In fact, allegations of governor's biography copies were handed over to drivers of 27 vice-chancellors with bills. The invoices are worth rupees 68,383, thus making vice-chancellors unwilling recipients to it. While Congress has alleged impropriety on the part of the governor, who has distanced himself from this entire controversy, he even tweeted out saying that he has no role in connection to any of this commercialization or activities regarding the marketing of his book. Kalraj Mishra's biography was released at the Raj Bhavan on the 1st of July with Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot, Rajasthan Assembly Speaker Dr. C.P. Joshi and Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla and Vice Chancellors of 27 universities there in attendance.
भाजपा के अंदर उसके विचारधारा में काम करने वाले व्यक्ति जब राजभवन के अंदर जाता है तो अक्सर ऐसी चीज़ें देखने को मिल रही है। देश के अंदर आज जो राजभवन की गरिमा को गिराने के काम कर रही है, चाहे वो राजभवन पश्चिम बंगाल का हो, चाहे वो राजभवन गोवा का हो, चाहे वो राजभवन राजस्थान का हो, इस प्रकार के कामों से राजभवनों की गरिमा गिरती है। अगर राज्यपाल के पास इसकी जानकारी है तो तुरंत इस पर रोक लगाए और अगर उनको जानकारी नहीं है तो इसके ऊपर इस घटना की जानकारी को लेकर ऐसे भविष्य में काम नहीं होने चाहिए। इन बातों को लेकर राज्यपाल जो स्वयं इसमें आगे बढ़ के उनको इस प्रकार की चीज़ों के ऊपर
A fresh controversy in Rajasthan has now erupted after BJP on Friday lashed out at Gehlot-led Rajasthan government, accusing it of buying oxygen concentrators at inflated prices. The state government has denied all these charges, with the health department now clarifying their stance. Devankur Vadhavan with this report.
Ashok Gehlot-led Rajasthan government in the dock after allegations of corruption over the acquisition of oxygen concentrators. Opposition BJP has claimed that the state government purchased oxygen concentrators that were faulty at inflated prices and dealt with dubious companies. The charges of corruption came right from the Union Health Minister, Dr. Harshvardhan, who said the pandemic profiteering is in vogue in Congress-ruled states. BJP State President Satish Punia accused the CM of profiteering during tragedy.
ये जो कंसंट्रेटर मिला वो भी हमारे को 26-27 तारीख पर मिला, जब तक कि ऑक्सीजन का जो कोरोना का जो पीक था वो उतार पे था, केसेस कम होने लग गए थे, बेड खाली होने लग गए थे। तो ऐसी स्थिति में ये सिर्फ कमीशन खोरी, कांग्रेस का कमीशन खोरी से ही जुड़ा हुआ मामला है।
Gehlot government has denied all allegations, says that it maintained transparency during the purchase. Notification issued by the Rajasthan Health Department stated that global quotations for oxygen concentrators were sought and they were purchased at a lesser rate after negotiations. Ajmer District Collector has clarified that a report will be filed by a 3-member team.
मेरे द्वारा कंपनी प्रतिनिधियों के साथ, एमएलए साहब के प्रतिनिधियों के साथ इसी कक्ष में चर्चा भी की गई और उसके बाद कंपनी प्रतिनिधि से बिंदुवार जवाब भी ले लिया है। जब प्रभारी यदि मंत्री जी आए थे उस समय भी ये मुद्दा उठाया गया था, तो सीएमएचओ साहब ने ये जांच उस समय 3 सदस्यीय जेएलएन टीम को दी हुई है।
Several union ministers, including Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan, have latched upon it to hit out at the Gehlot government, accusing it of profiteering during pandemic through purchase of oxygen concentrators at exorbitant rates. The Gehlot government, on the other hand, has claimed that complete transparency was maintained in the purchase of oxygen concentrators during the second wave, for which global quotations were also invited. With Nikhil Sharma, Devankar Wadhawan in Jaipur, India Today.
Amid the decline in COVID-19 cases across the state, the Karnataka government decided to further ease coronavirus-related restrictions. As per the new guidelines now, malls, restaurants are allowed to open up while public transport has been allowed in full seating capacity. Our next report with more on that.
Positivity rate plunges in Karnataka. Sharp decline in COVID-19 cases. And steady upward curve in recovery rate. BSY government announces further lockdown relaxations in the state from Monday. As per the new guidelines, shops, restaurants, malls and private offices are allowed to operate as per COVID protocols.
We are cleaning the mall and making sure that we are cleaning railing, glass, everything we are doing. Only vaccinated people we have allowed inside the mall. Means who are all the employees, salesmen, security, housekeeping, whoever it is.
All it is sanitized good, and we have kept mask also for customer. Without mask we'll be not allowing customers also, and we have kept a proper sanitization in the store.
We are cleaning the entire store, and even we have done with the sanitizations as well, and we are arranging with our new stocks. So, and we are also following all the social distancing COVID protocols, and even our team is also 100% vaccinated.
While swimming pools, sports complexes and stadiums will be opened only for training purposes. Public transport allowed with full seating capacity. Marriages and family functions are permitted with not more than 100 people. Cremation to be allowed with maximum of 20 people. No gatherings at religious places and only prayers can be offered. Theatres, cinema halls and pubs will remain closed. All social, political and religious activities are prohibited. Educational institutions and colleges to also remain closed until further orders. Meanwhile, night curfew will continue from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. and the latest relaxations and restrictions will be in place for the next 15 days. Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, after the vaccination drives resumed in Tamil Nadu's Coimbatore, people were seen queuing up outside a vaccination centre in large numbers. People started gathering since 9 p.m. to collect tokens for getting the shot. But distribution of tokens did not start until 8 a.m. next morning. The crowd gathered outside the vaccination centre had no information on when the token would be distributed and eventually resulted in violation of all COVID protocols. Finally, distribution of tokens started at 10 a.m. on Saturday, following which inoculation exercise began. A shocking story from Madhya Pradesh's Devas. A man goes on a killing spree over an Instagram post by his ex-lover. The accused killed the family of 5 and their bodies were found buried in a 10-feet pit 47 days after they went missing. Here's a look.
A jilted lover in Madhya Pradesh, Devas, goes on a killing spree. An Instagram post that sparked mass murder. 5 members of a family buried by their perpetrators. The almost perfect murders were discovered 47 days later. Shockwaves across the state and country as bodies dug out of a 10 feet deep pit. Prime accused Surendra was engaged to a girl, but was already dating a 21-year-old victim, Rupali, at the same time. Rupali was upset and did not want Surendra to get married to his fiancée. In a bid to stall the marriage, Rupali posted the picture and phone number of Surendra's fiancée on her Instagram account. Infuriated Surendra decided to kill Rupali and her family members. On the night of 13th May, Surendra called Rupali and asked her to meet around 11 p.m. to discuss his future plans. Police sources reveal that Surendra met Rupali at a field, raped and killed her. Surendra then called Rupali's 14-year-old cousin, Pawan, and told him that Rupali had tried to kill herself and asked him to bring all the family members as she had to be hospitalized. The other 4 members of the family rushed to the spot. Surendra's associates were already waiting for them and were also killed and buried. The bodies of Rupali's 2 sisters were also found without clothes, but no rape case has been registered so far. The accused also used urea and salt on the bodies for fast decomposition. Rupali's sister Bharti got suspicious after all 5 members who were living together stopped taking calls. She then filed a missing complaint. The accused also tried to mislead the police by posting messages on social media sites through Rupali's account. Social media posts from Rupali's ID claimed that she got married according to her will and all the family members were safe with her. The accused also messaged Rupali's relatives claiming to be safe to mislead the investigation.
According to the police theory, the main accused, Surendra Chauhan, after deciding to kill Rupali, planned to kill the remaining 4 members of the family as well, because he feared that he would become the prime suspect of Rupali's murder if anyone in the family survived.
Fresh twist in the case came when the accused impersonating Rupali messaged her aunt Neetu that she would also get her daughter married soon. Neetu insisted on speaking to her 2 kids who were missing, but the impersonator insisted to communicate by messaging. Neetu approached the police and lodged a kidnapping case against Rupali, who was already dead. Cops were puzzled as there was a missing complaint for Rupali filed by her sister and now a kidnapping complaint filed by her aunt. Police, while investigating the case, found that the last call on Rupali's phone was from Surendra and began interrogating him. Later, cops received a tip-off about some bodies being buried in Surendra's field. This led to a search operation and 5 bodies were found in decomposed state.
सुरेंद्र राजपूत ने पूरे षड्यंत्र बनाकर इन 5 लोगों की अपने खेत में ले जाकर हत्या की और हत्या करके उनको अपने खेत में ही 12 फीट नीचे गाड़ दिया और पुलिस ने इस दौरान अपने सारे एविडेंसेस क्रैक किए हैं, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक एविडेंसेस क्रैक किए हैं, पूछताछ की है और अब लोगों को 7 लोगों को पुलिस ने राउंड अप किया है।
जो इसके चिन्हित अपराधी हैं उनका जो भी संपत्तियां हैं कल उसमें उनको चिन्हित किया था। ये भी देखा गया कि निर्माण अवैध भी है और लगभग 4,500 स्क्वायर फीट में निर्मित है। बड़ा स्पष्ट इससे मैसेज भी आता है कि अगर कोई इस तरह का अपराध करने का प्रयास करता है तो सरकार उसके खिलाफ सख्त से सख्त कार्रवाई करेगी।
However, police have not yet been able to trace Rupali's phone, which is a key piece of evidence in the case. 7 accused are in police custody and promising stringent action. District administration has also demolished the house and shops of 2 accused in the case.
Even though the police has now claimed that all the accused have been arrested, the crucial missing link is Rupali's mobile phone. It was this mobile phone that traveled to different cities, and it was because of this that the accused were able to evade the police for 47 long days. And it was also a message from this mobile phone to Rupali's aunt Neetu that led to registration of a kidnapping case against her when she was already dead. With Vijay Irshad Khan, Hemant Sharma, India Today.
Fuel prices are on fire as petrol and diesel prices have been hiked once again across country. Petrol price today was hiked by steep 35 paise per litre. Diesel price was increased by 18 paise per litre. Prices in Delhi hit an all-time high of rupees 99.5 paise and rupees 89.3 paise respectively. In Mumbai, the petrol price has reached a new high of rupees 105.5 per litre. Diesel too increased in the country's financial capital by 19 paise per litre to reach rupees 96.9 paise. In fact, we're looking at Mumbai's prices being among the highest in the country. This is the 34th increase in prices since 4th of May. The prices of petrol has risen by 9.11 per litre, while diesel rates has soared by 8.63 rupees per litre since 4th of May.
सारा हर एक आदमी का, ऑर्डिनरी आदमी का क्या, बड़े से बड़े आदमी का बजट बिल्कुल बिगड़ गया और सारा इसका असर दूसरी कमोडिटी पे पड़ रहा है। जो लोगों को इनकम नहीं है और बाहर माल खरीदने जाते हैं उसमें इतना बुरी महंगाई है कि आदमी खरीद नहीं सकता, भूखे मर रहे हैं। और अच्छे दिन तो हम तो कह रहे हैं हमारे बुरे दिन लौटा दो।
Just like any other part of the nation, fuel price in the state of Tamil Nadu is also soaring up. It has crossed over rupees 100 in the past 2 days. In fact, for today, the price stands at rupees 144 price for petrol, and it is above 93 rupees for diesel. And this condition has been prevailing for several months in the state of Tamil Nadu. In fact, DMK, which came to power in the month of May, claimed that they will bring down the price, rupees 5 for petrol and rupees 4 for diesel. But currently, the state government has stated that they cannot go ahead and reduce the price because of the economic crunch. However, the person who actually faces the brunt of this fuel price is a common person who has already undergone 2 lockdowns and now have to pay more than rupees 100 for 1 litre of petrol in the state of Tamil Nadu. With video journalist Divyan, Pramod Madhav for India Today.
Let's check out today's rate of petrol and diesel in the city of Mumbai. Today, the petrol rates are 105 rupees 0.62 paise, while diesel is almost 97 rupees. While the special petrol, that's the speed petrol, you will get at 108 rupees 0.52 paise. Now these rates are continuously increasing. There is not a single day where petrol and diesel rates are not increased. This directly affects the common people, because if the petrol and diesel prices increase, the rates of other things also increase. In Mumbai right now, the local trains are not operating, so people are directly relying on their private vehicles. So it affects a lot. With camera person Vijay Desai, this is Saurav Akhtania in Mumbai for India Today.
And for more